Cars that if it hooks hard at the starting line, it's going to impress you at the finish line. He's been having some issues in the car. Oh, wow. And we may have a problem with the posi traction unit in the rear end. He only spun one tire coming out of the water box. That left rear tire is still damp, folks. He didn't get it dry, so we're throwing tire smoke off the left rear.
Finally getting around to pulling apart this posi unit out of my Lemans from No Name. Pretty much smoked all the clutches. They're all, that one's not bad, but most of them don't even have no clutch material left on them. This one, it's down to the steel in a few places. That's pretty much how all of them are. Probably order a kit and get that fixed. But all right, so we got a quick performance spool here. This is a really nice piece. Wasn't that expensive. Got our new bearings. Gotta be careful on the bearings because there is two different sides. There's like a 2 something and a 3 something. So we're gonna try to press these bearings on now and see if we can get this thing installed. We got our spool set in the press. We got our bearing is straight. It's pretty straight, I think. Just like that. We got the bearings pushed on, and I think we're ready to install this thing. I went ahead and put my spool in. I got a quick performance 31 spline spool. We're gonna put it in the car and see what we can do. All right, got our surface all cleaned up here. Time to put down some silicone. I know they make gaskets for this, but I don't ever use them. I've had bad luck with it. Some of you guys may say that that's the way to do it, the gasket, but I don't, so. Oh boy. Man, this absolutely kills your hand. I guess that would be the advantage of actually using a gasket, eh? It's probably easier if I would have put it on the third member side, but afraid I'd end up knocking most of the silicone off before I actually got the stupid thing installed. Pretty freaking heavy. Yep. Let's see if that works. I don't know what this chunk weighs, but it ain't freaking light. Oh man. Here I don't have all the nuts for this for some reason. I'm missing one. All right, I got the center section bolted in. Putting the axles back in. Put the brake brackets back on. It's easy stuff. So, gonna have this thing back together here pretty soon, finally. One thing you gotta make sure on these 9 inches is make sure that the seal has a lip. You gotta make sure it goes in there all the way, or you're gonna have a leak. And leaks suck. I really need to do different brakes on the back of this thing at some point. These are 8.8 Ford Grand Marquis brakes that I milled out the brackets to work on a 9 inch, but I'd like to do something different. I don't know what. The problem is I'm a tight ass. I don't like spending a lot of money on stuff that I don't need to. So we usually just find junk that we can make work, and we make it work. Part of hot rodding, I suppose. You see how much movement's in that though? That's the problem, is there's so much movement in it. If you don't get it exactly right, the rotors don't sit right, and then you got issues. I've had this dang thing apart so many times that I've got it down to a science now. This spool should definitely fix my traction issues. Don't you hate that when it's just tight enough you can't spin it by hand, but then it's so loose with the ratchet that it, or with the wrench, that it just spins easy? Pretty friggin' annoying, actually. All right. One side down, one to go. Well, that looks better. First time it's been on, well, had its back wheels on in a while. Gonna check and see what my transmission leak is. It's leaking around the trans brake solenoid, so I have to figure that out, but I'm ready to take this thing out and drive it again. It's been a long time. We got the spool put in the car. It's back on its own wheels. Car hasn't been driven in months. We're gonna go out and play with the draggy. Probably not gonna do well because traction issues, but let's find out. Got the draggy placed on the dash. We're gonna put my phone up here on this here mount on the windshield. Well, went out and made a few street passes in Mexico in the old Punisher car. These Mickey Thompson street comp tires, they just don't like the street very much. So it, as you can see from the video from my draggy, it spun pretty much a whole quarter mile. Fun.